Come on, play.
And welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer and am a podcast engineer here. And excited to bring you an all new show called Platinum Mindset with our friend Michael, who is a coach helping people about mindset and regaining confidence and control. Who met through another networking group. But with nothing further ado, I'm bringing in Michael here to kick us off. So welcome, Michael.
I'll get it pulled up. Come on. How's everybody doing? I got what's going on today? Yep, we're here today with Platinum Mindset TV and podcast, our first podcast, and for many more coming. And we got Lisa Marie here.
Hello.
As our guest. And basically pretty much what we're gonna be doing here on our podcast is gonna be laid back, talking about everything. We're gonna have one topic of the day, pretty much, and we're just gonna revolve around that. We're gonna go off of everything. We're gonna connect with everybody and speak real, not this scripted stuff, just straightforward, just to the point, and connect with everybody. Right, Elisa?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Michael and I have the unique experience, or really it's not a unique experience, but not everybody talks about it because everybody tries to put off this image of, we've really come to where we are by building from the ground up ourselves. And, that process can be very rewarding and very frustrating, because when you see your typical coach, it's all about, well, delegate this, invest with me and I'll guide you one-on-one. And all it's going to be is like $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm a business that's struggling. How am I supposed to afford that?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that earlier that, they have these gurus, these coaches and all that stuff, and people are so drawn to them. But I think people are actually trying to get, I finally starting to catch up with it a little bit, that they show this life of luxury, these cars, these houses, but they don't show the real struggle to get there, or the real things you have to go to every single day, day in and day out, working this business, working, trying to get there. They think, oh, wow, I can have this Lamborghini. I can have this big house. No, you can have it one day. You have to work there to get there. You have to struggle to get there. You have to go through all the tough time to get there, especially if you don't have the money, especially don't have the people on your side that's going to do all this stuff for you. Like me and Lisa, we're having to do this on ourselves. We're having to build it up from the ground up without the money, without the people, without the assistance. And that's what most small businesses do. They don't have all this money coming from everywhere. You're having to build it from nothing to something. And that's just the part that people don't understand. They see this limelight of this Lamborghini in the picture that says, oh, let me hire him. He can get this Lamborghini. No. Any coach that guarantees you something that can get you something like that, read the fine print.
I've had a recent struggle where, I spent all of this time creating this epic workshop, and it was a workshop that I was offering for free. And it really, it was a situation where I'm doing all this back end work, and I'm okay with doing back end work. It doesn't light me up, but I'm okay with doing it. However, when I'm doing it so much that I don't have the energy to like actually put out my offer, and then, because I'm working myself so hard, there's like a little hole here and there that, ends up like things end up not working. It gets very frustrating. And I'm realizing part of my lesson with that is to, if I can't delegate like that, do things a lot more simply. And I know that before I do anything else, I'm going to, I don't like doing automated like conversations so much, but it is smart to have automated emails, like when you're doing a particular event. I mean, who has the time to just do that all for each person individually for confirmations and reminders? Those are the kinds of things that are good to automate and things like that. And so I feel like if I get that down, everything else will be a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, none of us like to do all that stuff, you know. I can't. That's one thing that I get tired of doing. Is all the same thing over and over. You know, it's like we spoke about earlier. Teaching yourself basically how to do something one time. So I'm gonna teach myself how to do this. I'm gonna teach myself how to do this to do it one time. So I'm gonna go through all this struggle, all this stuff to get it done one time. Well, you have to do it because you don't have the money to go hire somebody. You don't have the funds or the people that's gonna do it for you. You have no choice. And that's the part that a lot of people they get stuck upon and they quit because they start getting burned out of doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And it's like you can't get burned out. You just got to keep pushing forward, knowing that in the end, all these struggles and all this stuff you're going to do, and even though you don't need to know this stuff, it's going to benefit you because you're going to get past that point you need to get to. Then you can hire somebody later on in your career, then your job. Once your business starts taking off, you can hire somebody to do this stuff. But yeah, it's very frustrating to. I know firsthand sitting there building a website 10 times over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like, this looks like crap. Oh, this looks like crap. But you look like you need one thing is you need to not do is don't listen to everybody. Because this person will say do this person says do that, this person says, oh, don't do that. You got to find your common core ground and find out what's working, what is going on, what's working, and what actually does work. Because the people that tell you stuff, see if it actually works. See if it works for them. See where they're at. See what part of life, what part of this they're at. Because a lot of people will tell you everything, but they'll tell you how to make $1,000,000. They haven't made $1,000,000. How are you selling how to make $1,000,000 if you ain't made $1,000,000? So make sure the people that you're following and we're taking advice from, they're practicing what they preach. They've actually been through what they've done. Like Lisa and I, we both can say the same thing. When I'm coaching and somebody says I'm going through this tough time, I know what you feel like. I've been there. A lot of these coaches are like, oh yeah, they don't know, man. They're claiming this. They saw a little commercial that said, become a coach or a marketer for $20. I'll set it all up for you. Yeah, okay. They go in there, they get this little app, they click it up. But actually, before you hire these coaches, before you hire these marketers, kind of research them. Don't just go by this commercial they put out there and say, oh, I can make you all this money. Just click, 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 and you can make all this money. Because I tell you, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Absolutely. And we were talking about something very similar for a little while in the lifestyle mastermind. Like, even if you find someone whose expertise and experience completely checks out and it's totally perfect, just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you, because the real thing that creates your success is your own alignment with your source of supply. So this trick that made someone $1,000,000 in a year might actually deplete you if it's not in alignment for you. And so it has to feel right. You want to, and any coach you can find out there, in my humble opinion, is secondary to the coach that already exists for you in here. You want what's in here to guide all the expertise that you receive from everybody else. And I know that is a crucial mistake I did make that week, because I was trying to be a perfectionist, right? And I was focusing so much on the creating, I wasn't pausing to go within and make sure that I was in alignment. And at that point, I need to hit a pause and take a little break so that I can keep my mindset positive. So the next time I try something, I come at it with optimism and from a place of having learned the lessons from the last try.
Well, okay, so if you're doing all that stuff, let's see how many people do this. Okay, so if you're actually, you need to go do this, but oh, I can go do this because we both work from home. So how often do you find yourself, oh, I need to go do this, or I gotta getting distracted from what you're supposed to do, even though it's not important to do it, but it's like, oh, I see I could go, I'm gonna go do that, or I'm gonna go do this. Yeah, how often do you get distracted by what you need to do to what you don't need to do, what you want to do, what you don't need to do?
Oh, often. Often. I mean, especially because I feel like it's even worse on a phone, right? But even on the computer, like on the phone, all you have to do is click the button that lights up the screen and there's all these distractions right there. On the computer, it's a little bit easier, yet, working, working, working. You hear a ping on WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp on my computer. If I'll use Facebook, and I should probably use WhatsApp for this. I'll use Facebook to send myself pictures from my phone, and I'll go there and totally get distracted it would be longer, but I have pretty tight boundaries with myself where as soon as I scroll for and to a point where I start to leave a comment, I'm like, all right, I'm going too far. I shouldn't be commenting on anything right now. And then I get back to work. You know, it happens a lot, but I catch it really fast.
See, like if I'm not on a schedule and I don't have something like me being working in the physical area where I was always outside doing something, work, 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 work. I never thought about time. I never thought about that. But now it's like once I'm not doing that and I have to do things on a time schedule, I have to make myself a schedule because if I don't, and I gotta make sure I stick to it because I set alarms on my phone one time for wake up, do this, at this time, do this. And the alarm would go off and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not doing that shit. So the
Then,
whole point is like doing it. That's the prop. I don't, you can set an alarm all I wanted, but doing it, that was the thing.
yeah, having a schedule and supportive habits is so important. And for me, if I have a schedule, if there's an appointment that's going to be an hour, I make sure I block off an hour and a half because I know my life dictates that kind of flexibility. And I also feel like it's important because like this last week, I wasn't using a schedule. I was just like, all right, I'm going to beast mode just all day, every day until I'm satisfied. That wasn't the right choice for me either. I was just excited.
I'm the same way.
But when you make a schedule, also schedule in your self-care time. And in one of our last meetings, Dharma also recommended scheduling like just nothing time where you don't have anything scheduled. And I think that's really crucial too, because I
Mhm.
feel like I need that. A lot of people just need that creative freedom to be like, do I want to nap? Do I want to go for a walk? Do I want to do a headstand for a half hour? Like, I want to do that. And I'll go through this thing where if I'm too strict with myself, then I need a few days where I'm like opposite everything and just doing some crazy things like sitting on a chair upside down and like going to sleep during the day, waking up at night. Like, I need to shake things up because I've just compressed myself too much.
I gotta see this upside down chair sitting. I wanna know how to do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. Like, if I don't stick to a schedule, I don't know something to do. I just start veering off. I just start I'll get frustrated, and then I'm like, damn, I knew I should have done this. Why didn't I do this? It's just to pay attention to stay and everybody. Oh, people have ADHD. Look, everybody has ADHD. I don't care who you are. Everybody has ADHD because if you're sitting there paying attention to something, and somebody's sitting over there with a freaking briefcase full of gold bars, and they say, "Come this way," you're gonna go that way. And if you're not, something's really wrong. Because if you can sit there and look at all, go, you're a strong person. But I think everybody has that tendency to like someone pulls you. And I think what it is, it's also they're gearing this towards doing that to people too these days. They're gearing everything they do to pull your attention from what you're doing to pay attention to what they're doing. And I watched this whole thing on online that was about it's actually right from around my house. This guy, Doctor, what's his name? Doctor, he's like a Tulane University and University, and the reason that we have blue lights and blue light screen, every single thing on computers, TV, everything, the backlight is blue light, is because it pulls your attention towards it. And that's what they discovered. They did everything from putting computer chips in people's heads, wiring their head, trying to zap them, everything. And they noticed that putting blue lights on the computer screen pulls you to it. And that's what everybody pulls you. Oh, look at this. It's like squirrel. Whoop, look at that. Oh, over there. Oh, oh. And it's 100%. It's hard for me. If I start looking at videos online, I can't. Because once I do, and then I'm gonna keep looking for like 30 minutes. I just gotta just stay on my thing is just stay like yesterday I made a dry erase board with everything I need to do. Just all geared out. Because if I don't, I won't do it.
Yeah, I'm in a way it's a blessing that I am very sensitive to screens and stuff like that. There was a time when I would have to wear sunglasses. This is before I knew about the blue light glasses in order to look at the screen. And just energetically, I also get really sensitive. I usually keep like a black stone near it to absorb EMF. And so if I don't take breaks to go outside, walk around a little bit, I'll get really cranky. And so it's been kind of a blessing because I don't get caught up with the videos too much like that because I don't like being in front of a screen when I don't need to be. I like to go outside and roll around in the mud, be with my kitty cats and have fun. And just a disclaimer, I do have a cat on my lap, so if you hear grumbles and like weird creature sounds, that's just my cat.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Look, if we say anything kind of like advice or anything, we're not giving advice. So if y'all take any kind of advice off of here, we're not. So it's you got to get that legal crap nowadays. Oh, we're not doing whatever. If you take anything from here and you go do it, or you're on your own. How about that? We go off of common sense. If we didn't tell you not to stick your finger in a plug and you get electrocuted, right? Common sense. That's one thing it's going to be about, common sense on this stuff. Because this world we live in nowadays is just so, it's almost like the next generation's kind of, they don't, unless you tell them what it is, they just don't know. It's like Google. What did Google say? Google. I'm like, thought about this one day. I'm like, whoever said Google was right? Really? Everybody Googles everything. Whoever said they were right?
I mean, I've looked up things on Google and gotten answers that were clearly incorrect. Yet, here's the thing. Like
as we
you
speak,
said,
my
you have
phone's going
to
off
use,
as we speak.
yeah, you want to use common sense. Like Google's just a search engine and anybody could post anything online. You don't have to be correct in order to pay someone to do incredible SEO for your site to be on top of a Google search. You could even go on to Chat GPT and 95% of the information will be correct. But I know when I do things, even when I create slides with Chat GPT, I notice little things like, they got that little detail wrong and I'll have to kind of switch it out. It's so important to read that stuff.
Images on ChatGPT when they had to write a word underneath the image is horrible. It never spells it right. I don't know about you, but I have never had it make an image for me where it has to have some kind of word underneath it. It spells it right.
Oh yeah, me neither. I try not to do anything with words in the photo. If you want, what you could do is you could create the photo and then add the words with Canva that you want.
It's just crazy how, this is AI and it can't spell something, even though you say spell it exactly like this. It's like, okay, I spelled it just like that. And then you did.
Well, I feel like that's actually part of AI not having a soul, and I feel like that's part of the limitations of AI. And I think at the end of the day, that's a good thing that there's some kind of limit, because I think AI is a really great, powerful tool when used as sort of like an assistant, but it's also not meant to replicate like human creativity, And so just like, you could even do those songs, and those songs are really awesome to do for fun and for jingles, but you can't really recreate a soulful lyrics like that. Like I've created my own like parodies to songs, and I've even tried it where I input the lyrics in there, and I can't do it the same way that I would just kind of singing it myself.
See, I'm not like I like AI to a certain extent, but then it's like I think people are already overusing it. It's going to be to the point where people are going to get to the point where they're not doing anything. And you ever see what was that movie, Idiocracy or something like that, where they sit down there and they get everything fed to them in their mouth, and they were just in their tubes, and it was just these big old fat people who just driving around in their little wheelchairs. That's how it's going to be almost if people keep doing this. They're going to AI everything. They're not going to get up and do anything. They're not going to go out and do anything. It's like that's the one reason that these next generation, their minds are not like ours are. Because we used to go look in books and find it. Now they just go, done. Write me a paper, done. We had to write the paper. We had to go research it in books. And I think that's what disconnects the next generation from us. It's like they don't have to use any thought to get anything.
Well, here's the thing. I could see online when people just copy and paste straight from ChatGPT, and I'm like, I don't say anything because why would I do that to someone? But I'm like, gosh, that's obvious, and so, I think more and more people, as they work with the technology, they'll have that awareness, and eventually people are going to get called on it and not do that anymore. And like I said, like these AI things are like 95% accurate. So if you're not educated in the background and proofreading and I don't like having it like completely write things for me. I'll let it make bullet points, and then I'll write myself from the bullet points or create an outline, and then I'll just kind of put in my own words with the outline. I think that's probably, at least for my values, the most integrous use of it, to kind of just shortcut the organizing part. But when you just copy and you look something up and copy and paste from ChatGPT, number one, it's obvious. Number two, you're likely to have a hole or two of misinformation if you haven't read it over.
The biggest thing I noticed with ChatGPT is like when people post stuff, it's got the little rockets and it's got the arms and it's got all that. I don't even know how to get those things on my text. So it's like I can see that that's what it is, because when I see all those arms and all the rockets and I was like, let's go, and it's like, wait a Where you get all, who the hell puts all those emojis? Nobody puts all that stuff on their text except to chat DP.
I've also noticed that they like to use this phrase. It's not just a this, it's a that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't know if you or anybody out there knows what I'm talking about. Like, it's not just singing, it's a symphony of flavors
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, you know? And then I'm like, that's totally AI.
Some of it just like even though like the one like we saw today, it's great now, but it's like, okay, if I gotta write down exactly what I want to ask it, and I gotta make sure I speak it exactly like I say it, and don't miss a beat because it's gonna interrupt me. That's a lot of work for me to write it down, think about it first, think about it. Then I gotta write it down exactly how I want to say it. And then once I want to say it, I gotta make sure I say it quickly and fast and not miss a beat because it'll interrupt me. Why don't I just type it in Google? Or type it in something else, type it in on the internet, say boo boo boo.
Well, the concept with that one is you're actually accessing someone else's mind. They've uploaded things from all of these historic figures and also these really high level professionals, and you can access their mind. And I already actually signed up for it. And there's the portion where you could talk back and forth, and that's really cool and everything. A little creepy, but also cool. And helpful. I did it with Tesla before, and it was Tesla was able to in like guess what our project was about that we were asking questions about before we told him, which was awesome. But they also have a part of it that's just a chat like Chat GPT where you can use without like having a cap on it. And I'm probably going to use that more than the talk part. And I'm curious about that to see, you know, if can pick some of these other experts' brains and learn some new things. And you know, maybe I keep it for just a month, or maybe it really works out and I keep it for longer. But it's worth a try, you know.
But I mean,
But
does it what is the platform it's coming off of?
it is Delphi.ai.
I'm saying, is it coming off of like, is it built from Chat GPT?
No, I think it's its own thing because it's literally like just it's each thing is programmed to be the mind and personality of this particular figure. And so like, you know, they've uploaded, I don't know what exactly they've uploaded. I'm sure like all the books, like for Joan of Arc, they've uploaded all the history books and everything. And for Tesla, I'm sure for the modern day experts that are still living, it's probably their books and stuff from their website and blogs and publications,
Yeah. Yeah,
videos.
because I know they're not sitting there saying every single word.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tony Robbins, like I told you about Tony Robbins AI. It's crazy. You can ask it
Yeah.
anything you want.
And I mean, like someone like Joe Polish, like I'm not going to be able to work with him anytime soon. So if you know, I kind of wanted to get that kind of perspective, like that's totally cool, you know. Um, and yeah, I'm excited to go deeper and see what Tesla has to say, and maybe even Joan of Arc about some things, just for fun.
So basically, it's just like they're just taking whatever the book says and they're just using the voice of them just to like kind of go off of it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure they've programmed it somehow with their information.
It's kind of creepy.
Um, and like I said, like I think AI is best used as an assistant, not like the one that does the work for you.
I mean, I wouldn't mind them cleaning my house.
Right? I mean, I
I don't
had
know.
one of those vacuums that, you know, you turned it on and it strolled everywhere and picked up the
Have you seen the stuff
contaminants.
about that in the media where they just got caught with?
What?
So basically, the Roomba vacuum, okay, it just got caught that it was actually it was taking pictures and videos of people. So
Oh,
if you were in your
wow.
shower or walking around your house naked, it went onto its system and went into iRobot's system. So it has pictures of you. It has pictures. If you walked around in front, if you walked anywhere near that vacuum, it was connected to the internet. It sent the pictures of you and everything else in your house to them. And also Amazon is connected to them, so it measures out your house. So when you go on Amazon, it says, "Oh, this rug will fit your room," because that room is measuring your room.
Interesting. Is that even a feature on it, or is it just like hidden?
The camera thing is not a feature. It's like it's on there, but they didn't tell anybody that. So it's like almost like they're saying it's an invasion of privacy. But if you were naked around, if you came in your bathroom while you were taking a shower, getting naked, it got a picture and video of you.
I mean, that smells like a lawsuit. I
Yeah, oh,
think they had a
huge.
generic version.
It's crazy. It's like, That's just insane. Today's day and age. And they're like, "Why are you closing your blinds in your house?" I said, "Nobody looking at my house." What do you mean? I said, "Anybody, if your blinds are open, it's legal to look at it."
Or what if it's in a room where the blinds are shut?
Then
How do they know your
well, if you
blinds
got
are
a
open?
vacuum, then you a vacuum. That's illegal.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, it's actually illegal to film someone in their home without their permission.
Oh yeah,
That's a lawsuit.
unless your blinds are open.
Yeah.
It's a gray area.
Well,
So
how
the
are they going
government
to
can
prove my
act
blinds were open?
what if the government can go like look through your window, if they can see through the window and see you, it's kind of like a it's not legal, but it's not illegal.
That's
And the
crazy.
government's gonna do anything they can get around that.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of this weird stuff out there, and I used to be more concerned about it, and at this point, it's like, you know what? Worrying, getting angry, that's not going to do anything. I'm just going to divert my focus and not participate in these games that I know are being played. And this way, I just, create a better world.
Yep. It'll get you pulled in there quick, especially nowadays. As always, I think it's just creating. They want to create so much against each other. You know, people stop paying attention to it. It's really because like so when I owned a imported pottery company like right outside of New Orleans. So the whole thing was going on with the whole the racist thing and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm from the South. I live in South Louisiana, by New Orleans. I don't know what y'all are talking about, this racist stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna ask every single person that comes through my doors, every single person that comes to my business shopping. I'm gonna ask them if they've ever experienced racism, if they've ever gone through it, blah, blah. And I ask people every walks of life, white people, Mexican people, black people, everybody from 20 years old up to that. I had one lady, an older black couple that she was 97 years old, and she said she's lived here all her life and she's never dealt with the racism except for they show on TV and try to push. So it's like
Right?
if people would actually see that this is being pushed. Yes, there's racism. It's understandable. There's hatred and all that stuff, but they try to push it more than it actually is. You know,
When that whole thing Black Lives Matter came out, I'm like, who said it they didn't? Like, who actually said that they didn't?
it's racist to say that black because then you're just saying that their lives matter, nobody else's. All lives matter.
They do. Um, and you know what? There is racism in the world for everybody, but it's not like what it is on TV,
No.
how they put it out to be. It's very minimal. And if anything, I was in a lot of alternative schools and stuff, and I actually, experienced a little bit myself, from places that you would not expect from having seen what you
Mm-hmm.
see on news and stuff like that. And you know, it is what it is. All you could really do is embody your own values and be an example.
That saying you just said, it is what it is. Not many people say. You ever heard of what that says? What it means?
What does it mean?
It is what it is means that you're a dangerous person. I say the same thing. Like, if you look it up, it says anybody who says it is what it is has come to the fact of life that nothing can fuck with them, nothing can bother them, nothing will destroy them. It's just it is what it is, and that's it. I'm gonna keep on moving forward.
It's acceptance.
Keep pushing forward, no matter what.
Yeah, I
Yeah, the whole
mean,
thing, like everything's going on nowadays, is just it's insane. It's insanity. It's just with. I mean, I'm on 42 years old, and what I've seen in my just in the past 20 years is unbelievable. It's like I would my great grandmother. I mean, my great aunt. I think she died at like 100, a little bit over 100 years old. So think about what they saw from that time. But if we live to be 100 today, jeez, Pete, we're gonna see a lot because it's in the past 20 years. It's been completely drastically just unbelievable to change. It changes from one year to the next, 6 months from the next.
I feel like we can actually live much longer, and that a lot of people are going to that have been living their values and stuff like that. And I think all that's very, very possible. You
Just gotta
know,
stay away from all that freaking chemical stuff.
right? And I actually just did a retreat, not a retreat, a workshop, and part of it was about detoxing. And we have all these detox pathways, so you don't really have to drive yourself nuts. Just, eat whole foods and also detox, because we all have these toxin buckets. And the thing is, we have all these toxins that we're exposed to regularly, and then the toxin bucket gets full, and that's when you get symptoms and diseases and stuff like that. But when you empty out your toxin bucket, then you have a little bit more freedom where, maybe if you eat something that's not organic, it's not a big deal,
Even if
or
you know
if
it's
you have
organic these days,
a
huh?
random snack, or, it's more, if you can get the stuff out of your system, detoxify a lot of the excess stuff out of your system, you can come at everything with a better baseline and with, and not be like, tight about it.
I think the biggest thing is today, like, it's hard to it's hard to find organic. It's hard to find a true organic because you don't even know if it's organic these days or not. Like the whole situation now, I don't know if you see it by y'all, but eggs here are freaking unbelievable. It's like I think it's like 80 cents an egg. It's like, you know what? I'm not eating eggs because I go get a fried chicken for cheaper than an egg. The chicken comes after the freaking egg.
But have you noticed the price of the free range and organic eggs?
It's cheaper
Yep, they have not gone up at all.
because they're
And
not blowing up these places with planes.
the other thing I've noticed that in the past like 15, 20 years, the prices at the farmers markets have not inflated at all.
The only thing that makes them farmers mark up a little bit is that the price of feed that these people are feeding their chickens. That's about it. That's given,
Maybe,
you know.
but everything's still generally like $5 a bunch,
Yep, exactly.
like it was 20 years ago.
Like I was watching this thing like in Mexico, their eggs, like they don't put their eggs in refrigerators or their milk because then they're not like the United States. Say, oh, you need salmon. They put them on the shelf. They put them just like they come out the chicken. Well,
I mean, when an
their
egg pops
eggs
out of a
there
chicken, you don't have to refrigerate it, only if you wash it.
exactly. Their eggs there and in Mexico right now. Yesterday, their eggs a dozen was $1.12. Here, the average cost is $7.97.
Wow.
That's insane. That's the United States average is $7.97. Well, here right now, a dozen eggs by me is what was it? It's almost four something, 4.50 for a dozen eggs. So basically, you're looking at almost 50 cents a piece.
There's a local person selling eggs because it's her daughter's little project to learn responsibility for $3 a dozen.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Like there's somebody.
I feel like if we could get with our local communities and like, maybe make like, some kind of group where we meet like once a week to once a month and say, hey, spring's coming. Everybody choose three things to grow, but grow a lot of it, and then we'll all trade with each other. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That'd be awesome. See where I am, like you can't see where I live. If these bougie people, they don't want this, they don't want that. They outlawed chickens. It's crazy. Yeah, trust me, it's nuts. So I would like they have. I've seen something online. These people actually rent their chickens out because you can rent out a chicken and it has so many eggs for a week, and then you take the chicken back. Rent a chicken.
Wow. I know that we can rent goats also to like eat, like their kudzu can be an issue out here with some people, and so you can
Yeah.
rent the goats to have them eat it.
Shoot. Every time I see it go, it eats everything. Fences, wires, shoes.
Yeah, that's part of why I moved to Arkansas, because I saw all this crazy stuff going on. Like I had already left New York because I just realized I got off all my meds and realized I probably need to be medicated in order to handle New York City and living there. And then I moved to Raleigh, which was like, you know, a good smaller city for me until it started to get busy. And then, I met my partner at the time and moved to Southern California. And then COVID hit, and we had wanted to do like a retreat homestead type thing. And so we got like 40 acres in Arkansas.
That's nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I want 40 acres over here, I gotta move far out, way
Yeah.
out.
Arkansas is amazing. They have great land, great community.
I like that big piece of land, but it's like, you know what? I'm like, I'm kind of almost like minimalist now. I want something tiny, nothing to do, and just go. But then another part of me, like, I like to go outside. I have a horticulture license, so I like to do that kind of stuff. I like to go outside, I like to garden, but it's like, gotta pick and choose.
I hear that. you know, especially coming from like I was a total city slicker, being on a mountain has just been so therapeutic for me. And I love any day that it's not like horribly bad weather. I go up on that mountain, I put my bare feet on a rock, and you know, it's just it's so beautiful. And
You
there have
got to
been
clear your
times
mind.
since I moved here when I spent extended stays away from here and I missed it so much. And even now, sometimes it's like, you know, this is tough land to work with and we need a new house. Like, and our house has more than doubled the property has more than doubled in value since we got it. And sometimes the temptation to sell can be there, but it's like, gosh, this land is so magical and so beautiful that we
Then
gotta
you got to
work
go
hard.
buy more though. You sell it, then you got to go buy more. So
Hmm.
yours doubles, the one you're gonna go buy is doubled. So it kind of wash itself out, you know.
Yeah.
This is my first time I'm renting for now. Except like I haven't rented ever in my life, and it's like, man, especially where I live. Where I live, to buy a house is high, but not only is it high, the freaking homeowners insurance is ridiculous. It's like as many hurricanes we get lately, homeowners insurance has gone up like 70%. It's insane.
Wow.
It's like a friend of mine has his house note. His house note went up $300 a month. A month went up because of the homeowners insurance. And then you make a claim and they don't want to cover it. It's like, wait a minute, what? I pay all this money and then you're not gonna cover me?
Yeah, I've heard of that happening. Especially this year. That I was living in you know a town called Rogers, which is about an hour away from where I am now, and we got tornadoes there, and people had all this damage on their roof and stuff, and insurance companies were being dicks about doing what they were supposed to do. My partner at the time was working for you know a contracting place, and they were having an issue because the insurance didn't want to pay them. They didn't want to pay for anything.
It's
We
ridiculous.
don't
I mean,
have
like,
house insurance right now, and I'm not sure if we really want it because it's like,
I
well,
mean,
maybe we
exactly.
should just save.
Like a friend of mine where I live, he lives in a row from me. He has a big old house on the lake, and his insurance was 28,000 a year. And he's like, I just self-insure. My house is paid for. Every couple of like every 5 or 6 years, I gotta make a claim. I have all that money in the bank. I just insure myself because no, when I go to make a claim, they're not gonna cover me anyway. So it's like my grandmother when she was alive, like she had homeowners insurance on her house in New Orleans from the time my dad was a kid till Katrina. Never made a claim. It's a lot of freaking money she put into that insurance policy. Hurricane comes, she needed a new roof. They gave her $500 to repair the roof. And that's it. I'm like, how much money did you put into insurance so far? So it's like you gotta have insurance, but then if you make a claim, they don't want to cover you or they'll drop you. So what's the point of having insurance? It's a scam.
Yeah. Well, fortunately in Arkansas, we don't, it's not a law that we need insurance, but we also don't, it might be if we had a mortgage, we don't have a
Yeah,
mortgage.
that's what I'm saying. If you have a mortgage, like you have to have it. Yeah, only if you have a mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
It's just
hoping
crazy.
that, you know, one day we could work something out to where we could let people like, you know, have houses here and stuff like that.
On your
Um,
property?
hmm?
On your property?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I'll be doing anything you can do to make money. Shit, make a community.
Yeah. I think I like the kind of model where, you know, they would pay like one fee to, you know, basically for 100-year lease on the plot of land. This way, you know, it's going to exceed their life, you know. And then basically they can, you know, live there however they want, and they could either pay like, I don't know, $200 a month, or they could help with the property,
I
kind of
just
that
do both.
thing. I don't have that down to a science or anything like that, but that's kind of like what I'm thinking would make it worthwhile, because that first payment would help us do more with the property, and hopefully, you know, they could help out too. My dream is to get more to get like people here that know how to like farm and garden and stuff, because I know how to
Just
do a
don't
little
make just
bit.
don't make no like crazy shit like they had in freaking Texas. That cult. What was that church you had over there? Building that freaking big. They had all the people come live there and drink the juice. What was that called?
Oh, oh, like that cult? No.
What was that guy's name? Kurt. What was that guy's
Oh,
name?
I forget his name.
That dude in Texas and Waco. Was it Waco? No, wait, Waco. Texas, something Texas. He had that church and all that stuff. They wound up going in there, DA and all that stuff, busting him. What was his name?
I don't know, but if I were a cult, I would be the only cult that's like, the one rule is that you need to, listen to yourself and make your own choices.
Oh, I don't know if I want that in my cult. It might take me over. All right, so tell us about your business a little bit before we get off.
Oh, right now my business is I'm in a space where I'm figuring out what I'm doing with my business. What I do have is at souldeepalchemy.com, you can generate a free human design report and then you can order a full in detail. Oh, you could generate a free human design chart. And then if you would like to go deeper, you could purchase a report that you will get within 48 hours.
What's a human
And
design?
I'm sorry?
People don't know what human design. What is that?
Oh, so okay. Most people are familiar with astrology, and that tells you a lot. Human design is a combination of astrology, I Ching, genetics, the Vedic chakra system, and the Kabbalah tree of life, and a couple of other things that I don't remember. And so basically, it's a really in-depth view of how you're designed to operate in the world, and it addresses your subconscious and your conscious mind. So there's a lot of stuff about you that you're not even aware of. And I've used that a lot to kind of target misalignments that I had. And that's been really powerful for me. And you could also find your keys to rewards. You can kind of hone in on the energies you're meant to use in your purpose. And just the very basics of it is this guide on how to make decisions based on your aura type and authority and strategy.
Very cool. I need to do that. We talked about it earlier for your own
Yeah, I
audience.
totally give that to you. And then
So
the
what's
other
your,
thing
what's
I'm doing is because I'm trying to find the way that I enjoy bringing my light to the world the most, because I'm really into, mysticism and metaphysics, as well as holistic health, and as well as, kind of like having a really great mindset and starting to build wealth. So I am in a place of wanting to meet with people just to talk and get to know them and see how I can be of service without actually selling anything, just to kind of connect and see what's out there, what I can help with, and what I enjoy the most.
That's exactly what this is all about. Helping people
Hmm.
connect and see what they can offer each other. Because nowadays, like you said, everybody has the know how to do something. If they want it, oh, but I'll charge you $10,000 to show you how to do it. Oh, yeah, hey, I'll show you how to do it. Oh, yeah, okay. No, people need to just start helping each other out. When is enough enough? You see these billionaires and all that stuff. Well, if you know how to get there, why don't you start showing people how to do it without charging them an ass in the leg? And that's one of the biggest things. So who's the number one people, like what's your niche? Like what's your audience?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. What do you like want to
It's
work with?
yes. So for me, like I have so many interests and passions that the niche thing has always been a pain point. So that's part of what I'm wanting to figure out by meeting with people complimentary.
Want to work with kids, teenagers?
No, just anybody that wants to meet. I don't even know. There was a
See, the way
time
I
I
found mine
worked
is
in.
like I started zoning in, like I started thinking about, okay, what do I not want to work with? I don't want to work with kids. I don't want to work with people that have really, really big time problems that I'm just like, ooh, people that come in with a lot of baggage, like stuff like that. That's what I started. It took me a while, like you. It took me a while to find out who I want to work with, who I'm like minded with, who I connect with.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty easygoing as long as, somebody is at least spiritual enough to understand what a chakra is. I can work with that. I don't have to get super woo-woo. And and also somebody that's okay to get a little bit of tough love from time to time, because if you're the type of person that procrastinates a lot or says a lot of things and doesn't follow through, then eventually we'll meet and I'm going to say what's going on here, and deliver a little bit of tough love and kick your butt into gear, because that's necessary sometimes.
Be able to
I
take
know
that,
that's what works for me.
curse words. When somebody says shit or something like that, they're like, "Oh my God, what'd you say?" Well, then, if me saying shit bothers you, I don't think I'm your guy.
Yeah, I need to I get particular enough about the words that I use. If I drop a cuss word here and there, I need them to be pretty easygoing about that because that's my authentic expression when I get excited or passionate.
They say the most, what they said, the smartest and most wealthiest people curse the most. I
Hmm.
mean, I think it's just a word. So then if me saying, the F bomb or me saying shit or something like that, it hurts your feelings. Well, you gotta, I can't coach it because if that's the case, you're gonna really have some things coming to you because I'm gonna push you to it. And people are like, oh, you're really abrupt and hard. I'm like, we're explaining to somebody the other day, they're like, this is the way I look at it. Okay, I might be hard, I might be abrupt, might be, to the point. But the difference in me and somebody else, would you rather feel like shit and carry this baggage along, this misery that you've been going through, keep carrying along for the next 6 months to a year? Or would you rather get it over now? That's the way I coach. I coach like we can talk about the problem for once. We already know what the problem is. We talk about the problem over and over and over and over. It's just going to be a problem. And that problem's never going to go away. Instead,
Hmm.
you find a solution and you get results. It's not comfortable. I'm not going to be some guru that says, "Oh, I can guarantee this." No, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy. But the shit that you're in right now, that you're going through this miserable time, this you're not happy. You're putting on a smile, faking it for everybody else, making sure everybody else is all right. But deep down inside, you're holding on by this thread. It's about to break. So you're not comfortable now. So how about we just keep pushing, get through it now, and get you to that point you need to be at, the happy state, that being that positive, confident person in a month or a week instead of 6 months to a year. That's the way I coach this. Yeah, it might be hard, but feel like shit for a day, I feel like shit for a year. Which one would you take?
Hmm. Absolutely. And for me, I'm the type of person, where when I invest my energy in someone, I really, I sincerely care about that person. And, what I desire most is to be their biggest cheerleader. And that requires, transparency. I feel on both parties and authenticity from both parties. And, I will do whatever I can to facilitate that and, help someone reach their goals.
I think the
And
biggest thing is these days, like people need to realize that they think that they had this easy button. Back in the day, you had that little button you could see. Oh, hit easy. It's gonna be so easy.
oh yeah, a
These
lot of the work
gurus.
that I do is not easy, and I'm personally all about empowerment. I don't like to do things for you. I will boost you. I will boost your spirits when I see you on social media. I will boost your algorithm like crazy. I'll, support you in all the ways, but everything I like to provide are things that I'm either teaching them how to do it themselves, or it's a framework that they have recorded that they can use themselves and play with themselves.
Yeah, it's just I think a lot of people like they see these total these ads that show, oh, you can have this, this, and this. I'm not ever gonna teach you. Look, if you ever see me come out with an ad and I'm standing in front of a fancy car, come over here and shoot me in my kneecap because I think it's crock of crap. Because it's nothing, anything worth anything in my eyes. Anything worth anything is not easy. It's gonna take work. Everything takes work, and I think this today and age that people think that everything is just at the snap of a finger, so easy, but they're not showing you what it took to get to that point. It's gonna take
Yeah.
work. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take this. It's gonna take that. You're not just gonna unless you have you and look. You can believe what you want to believe. You can pray all you want. You can have a magic genie up your ass. It's still gonna be work. You know, unless you can make a wish, you go, boop, it's still gonna work.
So I have this view where like it is until it isn't, right? Like at the beginning, it's a lot of work, and you know what? I see this as a continuation of my healing journey, of my personal mastery journey, because what else other than being an entrepreneur and building up from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
it will help you reach that mastery, right? And any path to mastery is going to have these nodes, and that's really what I want to say is that there are these nodes that you hit that are really tough, but getting through them is also really rewarding. And
Yeah,
so yeah, it's really common to have these struggles and these tough nodes, but it's getting through that builds your mastery. It's getting through that that really leads to your self-actualization, and that's what's going to eventually guide you to your purpose. And just watch. I'm someone that's still in the process of developing the self to the point of being an entrepreneur. But once I do, I'm going to have even more to share with everybody, and I can't wait until I have that all together to give back.
Yeah, I think you're like me, like we know we kind of keep pushing through it. So many people nowadays, if they get through a little bit of struggle now, they quit. They just give up. And they just need to realize, look, it's a struggle. I would never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. Especially being on live right now, doing a podcast. I never thought this would be me. But it is. And it's good. It's just, if you want to be here, if you're stuck in life, if you're anything like that, one of us can help you get through it. My style of coaching, I get you through it. I push you through it. You know, you might be sitting there struggling. And look, a lot of people today don't want to reach out for help. They feel like it's failure. And it's not. Actually, you get more respect if you actually reach out. You have people that look at you like that you don't even know what they're thinking. But most of the time, your spouse, your friends, they're sitting there saying, "Gosh, dude, or this girl, she needs to get help. I'm just tired of I can't be around them anymore." Especially in a relationship. Relationships don't tell you what's actually going through their mind until they've had enough. And they're like, "I'm out. I'm done." By that time, to get somebody to check back in, once they checked out, it's hard. So if anybody's having this feeling of just, you're feeling that stuck point, you're getting up in the morning, you're like, "Oh, I got to push through the day." Before it gets too late, reach out. See what it can do. Just talk to one of us. Reach out, DM me, call me, whatever, call Lisa, whatever. It's better to do it while you know the problem's there instead of letting it get so big and then you hit the bottom. And then that's what most people do. They let something completely drastically happen where they just hit bottom mode, break to their knees, and they're like, "Oh, I need to get help." That's when it's the hardest to get back up. If you feel yourself stumbling now, get help. Don't fall to your knees and then get help, because it is hard as a mofo to get back up.
And Mike is awesome, and I know his DMs are open, my DMs are open, and for the next couple of months, I'm trying to just book free sessions so I can just experience and help people to the best of my ability for free, and in doing so also sort of see the types of things I enjoy serving with the most, and also maybe things that I don't want. And so it will be mutually beneficial, even though I'm giving away free appointments very easily right now.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll put her information in my on my Facebook, and I'll share it with her. She can put it on hers. But also, I have a group called Platinum Mindset group on Facebook. Come in there. It's a community that's growing. We're helping each other out. You can connect with everybody. It's going to be on the show. You can connect with her. You can connect with me. And just come in there as a community and connect. It's not, but if you come in the group, please come to the group and actually be part of the group. Don't just join the group and just sit there. Don't do that. Comment, share, help people, talk. That's the part of this group is to communicate with each other. So many times today, I see these groups, it's like pulling teeth. Why do you join a group unless you're not going to be a participant in it? Participate, because you might have something that person needs that you don't even know. Put out there what you have, what you can help people with. And my whole thing is to help each other today. Help one another. Because if everybody helps, as much as I know, I can help Lisa, Lisa can help me, she can help. If everybody starts helping each other with something they know, this world would be an amazing place by just helping one another. Not just help yourself to benefit yourself, help everybody around you to help each other. And it doesn't have to be any kind of money. It doesn't have to be any kind of thing like that. If you have a knowledge that you know that you can help other people, just put a comment on social media to say, "Hey, if anybody needs such and such and such and such, I have knowledge." That's it. It didn't cost you anything. Help somebody out. That's all. That's what I'm asking us.
And I just want to add, if anybody out there knows anybody that might benefit from some help, especially if they can't afford it otherwise, tag them. This way they know that they can access it for free if they need to.
Exactly. And also, me and Lisa both are part of this club called the No More 9 to 5 Club, which is an amazing community. One of the best communities, because it's like a family. And we all come together. We have meetings every week. We have them on Saturdays. We have masterminds. There's guests that come in. I mean, we talk about guests that being from just a small business owner to somebody that's a multi-millionaire, almost billionaire. and they come there and they give their information for free. They come there and they teach us, they learn. This group right here is something that everybody needs to be a part of. Look it up. It's No More 9 to 5 Club. It's on Facebook, and you can contact me or Lisa, and you can get in the group too. But that's it for today. Lisa, it was great having you.
Great to be here. I hope you have a wonderful evening to you and everybody who's watching.
And here comes Santa Papa John next. He's up next.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Talk to you later.